Silver takes a nosedive in an unexpected turn as the Fed lowers interest rates a quarter point. But why is this happening? We'll try to answer that question in this video as we explore. That's right. Silver took a dive here today, down well over 1%. Over 2% rather. Anything over 2% in either direction is a big deal in any given day. And today is one of those days where we saw it fall. In fact, it is down 2.88% now, just about an hour or so before the markets close as I record this video, and down to $41.40. Now, this is sort of an answer to what I had predicted would happen in prior videos. I said, this was sort of bad news that we're seeing about a month or so ago when the market's reacting, anticipating what they were going to do today. And I didn't realize that the very first day of the meeting that they would make a press conference and announce the rate cut, but they did just that. I figured it would come tomorrow, but I guess it's just my knowledge of how that works. Usually there's 2-3 day meetings or whatever, and then there's a press after, but I guess they did it today. But this is what has happened. Silver is down 2.92%, almost 3%. That's a big drop. $1.24 drop in price. It's continuing to fall here to $41.38. That's after it was $42.69. That was the high today. So in reality, it's well over 3% move today overall. And it is down $1.24 right now. That's a pretty big drop, folks. A big consolidation. But not to worry, in my view. But let's get into what some are saying about this, because early on, Jim Wyckoff over at Kitco, early as this came out, was talking about how gold and silver are trading both sides of unchanged in the dealings as the U.S. Central Bank interest rate reduction that was widely expected by the marketplace. Mild profit taking from a shorter-term futures traders was featured today after gold hit a record high yesterday. And we see now with silver prices falling as well, the Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee meeting ended this afternoon, with the Fed cutting the funds rate by 0.25% to 4.0 to 4.25%. Again, widely expected. It would have been a shock and surprise if they did a half-point cut. If they did a half-point cut, then that would mean probably we would have seen $50 just like that. But that did not happen. And of course, that has also caused some people to be, that's kind of lackluster. And so maybe people are taking profits, expecting others to be doing the same thing. This move was widely expected and the first rate cut since November of last year. The FOMC statement showed the majority of FOMC members do not want to lower U.S. interest rates anymore this year. So that is something, and that is probably one of the main reasons why silver and gold fell today, especially silver, because if they do not want to lower rates anymore this year, and we don't have any more rate cuts, that means gold and silver prices will likely continue to fall back some. But I don't think they're going to fall back too much. But again, that's just the sentiment that we're seeing from this. They do not want any more U.S. interest rates this year. And there's a press conference that's happening literally right now as I record this video. And I'm not watching all of that, but nonetheless, some of the indications that will come out of that press conference, whatever Jerome Powell says or any Fed chair says, can have big moves in the market. And we're seeing that right now, I think, play out. If there's any kind of hint that they won't cut rates anymore this year, then probably, we will see gold and silver prices consolidate even more. Now, the key markets outside today see the dollar index up a little bit, and that doesn't surprise us either. And oil prices are also slightly weaker and trading around $64.25 a barrel. So it is pretty interesting to see the marketplace, how it will react in general to the statement from the FOMC. But right now, silver and gold are getting hit fairly hard, especially silver today, and as it's pulling back more and more, it seems like here. So it's pretty amazing. Gold, by the way, fell just under 1% today, down $35.40 right now, with about an hour and a half left in trading, to $3,655.70. But remember, I think that's a two-punch combination as to why prices fell for both gold and silver. Number one is this assessment and possibility that we may not see any more rate cuts from now to the end of the year. I still think they may cut more, but it may not be 3 as was originally expected. But again, the other factor is probably profit taking and people realizing, you know what, we overhyped these cuts so much and put so much hope and faith that they would happen at such a rate that it has caused us to overextend ourselves in the gold and silver markets. And I think that is what we're seeing here. In other words, they overreacted. And as I had suggested, could be a possibility. And that is, I think, is what is happening right now. So, in a sense, this does not surprise me. The timing of it does, because of how quickly the meeting lasted and how quickly they came to a decision. But really, in a sense, it's a no-brainer. We knew they were going to do it, but I guess the surprise and hope, by some at least, by at least 8% to 10%, according to the time I've tracked on the Fed Watch tool, was that perhaps they would go to a half-point cut. That obviously did not happen. And so that'll be very interesting to see where it goes from here. But I think likely we'll see some consolidation. But here's what my guess is, that I do not think we're going to see silver fall back below $39 or $38. I believe that's the area we may see it consolidate to, and before it builds back up again. I think we're going to still see silver prices rise, by the way. There's too much on silver's side for the upside for the metal. So I'm looking forward to seeing higher silver prices, but maybe not too crazy. I've not done a revised prediction video yet. I don't know that I'll do one. It's getting kind of late in the year at this point in time, but I'm feeling pretty good that we may revisit at least at $42.50 again. And the high that we've seen this year is $42.68. That's pretty good. That's just about 32 cents shy of $43 an ounce, which, by the way, I did poll test in my last live stream to see how many of you thought we could see $43 by this Friday. Well, if the consensus out of this meeting continues to last, that they may not do any more rate cuts this year, then likely, probably, we are going to see silver probably continue to fall and get hit today more and more. So we'll find out. But we'll keep an eye on it, keep a track of it. But fascinating indeed. It'll be very interesting. But what are your thoughts on silver? Do you think... let me ask 2 questions as I close this video out. Number 1, will silver fall below $41 by Friday? I'm going to ask that question, number 1. Will it fall below $41 by Friday? Or are there some of you that think we could still see $43 by Friday? It's the middle of the week right now, so we have a couple of days, and honestly, anything could happen, and nothing would surprise me at this point. It's really trading based off of the psychology of the market. Emotions are driving a lot of this, even today in the markets. But nonetheless, as I always say, when we see support climb to a very strong psychological number, which is 40, so in other words, if we can hold on to 40, I think through the end of the week and through the end of the month, we are doing great, folks. So take this time to think of it as an opportunity, and opportunities are always good. My friends at Summit Metals know this. Check them out if you're buying or selling silver or gold. Check out summitmetals.com to see what they have, the product you're looking for, and experience their great customer service. But nonetheless, we're keeping an eye on things here on this channel. And if you enjoy daily updates to precious metals analysis and news, I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel. Getting very close at 100,000. Once we reach 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to show something unique, never been seen before by anybody except for Just a few people who were involved in the production thereof, not even my closest confidants and family, have seen this. So stay tuned for that. So with that being said, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.